What's up, guys? So I'm back with another video, and today I want to talk to you guys a little bit about passive income. So passive income, the way it's portrayed at least, is this thing that you can just kind of sit back, chill, and money's flowing in, resources are flowing in, and it's passive. You don't really have to do anything, and that's kind of what draws a lot of people's attention. Most people are used to a model where you have to work, and then as a product of your work comes money. And so this idea of passive income is that you've worked and then your income is now generating income for you without you being a part of the system. Um, and that's kind of one of the biggest misconceptions about it. Kind of that's why I made this video. That's what I want to address is that passive income number one, requires a lot of active work. Okay. So just to get to the point where you can create passive income for yourself, you're going to have to work really hard. It's going to require a lot of hours like I said, active work. You're going to have to be working for it. That's the short of it. Um, the second part of it is that you'll never make more money passively than you can actively. So you have to think about instead going back to number one, it requires active work to get passive income. So you're actively working in some field or domain. You're actively working in some field or domain, and your active work is is generating you enough income that you can put it into some sort of income returning asset or investment vehicle or whatever, and then that is passively returning to you some funds. That return will never exceed the funds from the work that you did to get those initial funds to contribute to the pot. You know what I'm saying? So what a lot of people don't actually end up saying is that especially this is real big in like the online real estate and investing community. What a lot of people don't mention is that they're making a lot more money from the education of real estate or investing than they are from their actual real estate investments. And not to say that they can't be making a lot of money from that too, but a lot of people are making their real money when they're making money by actively working to sell you the idea of passive income rather than from their own passive income sources. All right, so and that's not a dig at them. You know what I'm saying? You could say that's in a way almost what I'm trying to do too, except that the profit motive for me isn't 100% into the education realm. Thankfully I have enough going on in other places that I'm not necessarily dependent on this. But hopefully one day I can make some money off of this. If it's a byproduct and people see the value in what you're producing, then I don't see an issue with it. But um, that's just a big misconception in general with passive income. It was something I wanted to address, and part of the reason actually that a lot of people have that issue or they fall into that trap of thinking that I just need to get passive income, that's all I want, and they forget that part, step one, where passive income requires a lot of active work. All right, like, and part of that reason that people don't, they get misguided and they forget that step is that they don't really understand investing principles. We don't put a huge focus here, at least here in America, on teaching people personal finance or yeah, personal finance. I was gonna say or investing. I was like, that's investing is a whole nother philosophy in and of itself. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of the root of the issue is that people don't know what investing really means. I was having a discussion with my brother a while back, and we were talking about, why is usury haram? Why is it forbidden in Islam for you, to get usury, I guess you could say, or to impose usury. I don't even know how to, if that's a verb or a noun or, but usury pretty much is excessive interest, right? And so we were having this discussion, and we were discussing like just from our own moral principles, like what does interest look like? And once we really got into the weeds of the conversation, there's this distinction that's made between interest and investment. Okay, and this applies to everything in life. You can apply it to business specifically, but this applies to everything in life. The you know you, you got to understand if someone's interested in what you're doing or if they're invested in you. You know what I'm saying? And that's a whole another like whirlwind of a conversation for real, for real. Because if you think about banks, for instance, if you're taking out $10 from the bank, the you know the bank's charging you interest, right? They're interested in what you're doing, so they'll loan you the money, and they want their interest payments in return. If you borrow $10 million from the bank is gonna sit down with you and have a conversation. They're gonna bring their people. They're gonna say, "Hey, what you trying to do? All right, let's have a let's talk." They're invested in your project. You know what I'm saying? There's a different level to it. And so when you're thinking even in terms of people, you got to think about, yo, is this person interested in you or is this person invested in you? When you think about teammates, romantic partners, like anything in life, for real, like there's a huge distinction between interest and investment. And that's kind of, the root of why people don't understand passive income fully, or they not that they don't understand it, they have a flawed perception of what passive income really is and what it encompasses, because their understanding of interest isn't separate from their understanding of investment. So they're interested in getting passive income, but they're not really invested in the process to get there. And that's because a lot of the images about passive income, the way it's portrayed, um, is not right. It's not correct. So it leads people, down the slightly wrong path. And if you're off a little bit, but you're laser focused, you're gonna end up, 20 years later in, completely different place than where you wanted to go. And that's one of the things, is that people, they're like, oh, I have this idea, and then they focus in, right? It's like, okay, I figured it out, passive income, but you didn't have the right, you weren't calibrated correctly, you didn't have the right internal compass, the right motivation, intentions, everything behind it, and you end up in the wrong place. So, that's the short of why I made this video. I just want to clear up some things about passive income that I felt like weren't being accurately portrayed. So passive income, just to recap, requires a lot of active work. All right, so you got to put in the work. It's not going to be easy, but that's pretty much what trying to acquire passive income is. It's fronting the work. So the work is always going to be there. And then number two is don't fall into the trap of thinking that once you've gotten passive income, you'll stop actively working. You know, we can we can we can have whole other discussions on what is work, the meaning of work, the work-life balance, which is, to be honest, a dumb phrase. It's all life. Like, your life is work if you're giving your life to your work. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never really look at the stuff that I'm doing as work. I'm just kind of living my life, and these are the byproducts of me living my life. So, um, at the end of the day, like I said, this was about passive income and the image behind passive income. The truth is, it requires a lot of active work. So, stay focused, stay dedicated, and keep working. Um, Thank you guys for watching the video. I appreciate it. Subscribe below. Let me know what else you guys want to, hear me talk about, as it pertains to what I talk about. Thank you. Peace out.